What we are going to see in this discussion is how we use SVN from command line. Why is it required? We have Tortoise, a GUI based client which can help us working on Windows environments. So especially if we want to work on Linux environment, if we want to work with Subversion in Linux environment, we need to have Subversion command line client. With Subversion command line client, we can do all the basic SVN operations from client side quite easily, even on Linux systems as well. So where can we download the command line client? We can download the command line client from Collaborate, SVN Collaborate. It's one of the better places for that. So here you can see the various Subversion binaries given for Windows, Linux, Solaris and so on. So and here you can see Subversion Edge. Subversion Edge is the server provided by Collaborate. Here we have Subversion 1.7.9, Subversion command line binaries. So that's something which we are interested. Based on your system, whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit, so you go ahead and download the respective client. So and and it will ask for an email sign up. So give your email and you will get confirmation mail to email, and eventually you can download the Subversion from this link. So once you download Subversion command line client, it's again an exe. So double click on it, it will automatically get installed in your system. Okay. So how do you check if Subversion is correctly installed? Subversion command line is correctly installed in your system. Go to your command prompt and just type SVN info. This is a command which gives you information about what is the version, what is the details of client which is installed and all those things. SVN help. You can see if you type SVN help, you will see all the available commands: add, checkout, commit, copy, diff. As you can see in the screen, merge, patch, status, update, all those things which we have been using comfortably using the GUI mode with Tortoise. So these are the things. So if you want to learn any particular command, the best way is type SVN help followed by the name of the command. SVN help checkout. Now let's see what it says. Let us try to understand the complete description so that you can easily relate to all the commands explanation. So what does SVN help checkout tell us? Checkout, this indicates it has a short form. You can say SVN checkout or you can say SVN CO. What does it do? Check out a working copy from a repository. Check out a working copy from a repository. It means from SVN repository it will create a local working copy for you. So how do you use it? SVN checkout followed by the URL of the trunk or branch, whichever you want to take the checkout. Here you can see there is something in square brackets. When you see something in square brackets, it means in any command line tool, when you see something in square brackets, It means it's an optional parameter. It's an optional parameter. So you can or you need not use this particular option in your day-to-day activities. So what is the need of this @ revision? What does this do? What this does is, if you want to take a checkout, by default it will take the checkout of latest revision, head revision rather. But on the, suppose currently the head revision is 40. If you say SVN checkout followed by the URL, it will take the checkout of the latest up to head revision. But if you do not want to take checkout up to latest, if you want to take checkout up to half some part around 30 revision, so you can say SVN checkout URL revision is 30. Okay, so that is why either you can choose, give this option or you can leave this option. Similarly, you can see path here. So again, it's an optional parameter. So path means by default, at whichever place you run the SVN checkout command, from whichever directory you run this command, in that directory the checkout will happen. But if you are running from, say, C users PC1 is my current working directory. If from here I want to take checkout and I want to have the checkout in D drive or E drive somewhere, so in that case I will give SVN checkout and I will give a different path, E column or some other thing. So what you need to understand here is the revision and path both are optional parameters. URL is mandatory parameter whenever you want to take SVN checkout. That's how you understand the usage. What is mandatory and what are optional. Let's come to next. What are the various other options I have? How do I give the revision? -R. If I want to say I want to take SVN checkout up to a particular revision, I should say -R followed by the number -R space 30, -R space 100, -R space 500. So I need to give the number. I can say -R head means again it will bring me the latest only. That is one important -R option. Then -N, another useful thing. -N means non-recursive. What does it mean? Whenever I am taking a checkout, whether I want to take checkout only at the top level folder or should I go inside the subfolders and subfolders and take complete checkout. Okay, so this by default it will take complete checkout. Similarly, here you can see list global options, which means these are applicable for all the SVN commands. Username, if you want to supply your own username and password, you can supply by the command, by the option -username space your name --password followed by the password that you are using. In case the username has has space in it, enclose it in double quotes. Otherwise, SVN will break at this space and take the next word as some other command option. So whenever you are supplying commands, whenever you are supplying the names as strings, if there is a space in between, always remember to use it as a practice. Include that word which is having space in double quotes, because in command line a space indicates next parameter. And here you can see no auth cache. This is another very useful option. What is this no auth cache? By default, once you take SVN checkout using some username and password, SVN will cache the credentials. It will store the credentials in the system, so that next time you need not use the credentials again. It will automatically fetch it from the cache and then it will use it. But sometimes, being a configuration engineer, you may need to stop the username and password from being cached. What is the use case? Suppose you have done the merge in one developer system. Okay, there is one conflict. He resolved the conflict in a different component, but he does not have permission on that. So he calls you and asks, please commit, this is at root level and I don't have permissions here. So you need to commit it from his system. But if you directly give your username and password, they will be cached and SVN will use them from next time. So that he can also make permissions, he can also make commits at the root level from next time. Okay. So to avoid that caching of the username and password, we use the option -- no auth cache, -- no auth cache. Okay, these are some of the things which actually help you. For all the commands you will be having this. That's why I am taking time to let you understand what are actually these things, so that when we are using them in commands, you will relate to them easily. Okay, now let me go to my location where we are doing the practice. Okay, so what is the very first thing we do? I am a developer, I have joined. The very first thing I am going to do is to take an SVN checkout. Okay, so SVN checkout or CO. I told you you can use any of them. Okay, followed by the URL. So what is the URL of it? URL of trunk. Let me take the trunk URL. Tata is SVN repo browser. So this is the trunk URL. Or when you get a mail from your configuration as a developer, once I get a mail from configuration engineer, the URL of the trunk, I will use it directly. SVN checkout followed by the URL. Now, let me say, I can also use the path option, right? I am just giving trunk. So when I say this, what I am trying to do is, I want in this particular drive, in this particular directory structure, I want a folder trunk to be created, and in the trunk folder, I want the checkout. Okay. See, there are two types of paths always: absolute path and relative path. If you are giving here from E drive or D drive, if you are starting the path from drive location, that is called absolute path. But if you are giving direct folder names, that is relative path, relative to the directory from where you are running the command. I am running the command from command line directory. Okay, relative to the directory, the trunk folder will be created. On the other hand, if I say D:trunk, this is called absolute path. So under D drive, a trunk folder will be created. If I give a direct folder name here, this is relative path, relative to the directory structure where I am running my command. So let me go to that SVN practice folder, command line. I am here. Now let me run this command. If I want to give the revision, I will say -r space 30 -r space 40. That is how I give a particular revision. Similarly, if I want to give username --username followed by, say Niranjan is my username, or SVN admin, whatever it is, I can say SVN admin 35 is the user that I have created. Similarly, --password XYZ, or if you don't give password also, it will prompt --password. Okay, this is how you supply. And if you do not want the credentials to be cached, you say --no -auth -cache. So these are all various options that you can leverage when you are running your SVN commands. SVN checkout followed by the URL followed by the relative path where I want to take the checkout. -r is for you to give a particular revision anytime. --username --password --no auth cache are for supplying the user credentials and not saving those credentials into the system. So now you can see the checkout will happen. The trunk checkout is created. The trunk checkout is created. In that I have my folders, everything got created here. Okay. Now if I want to, let me go to trunk. So I have taken the checkout. If I want to know details about this checkout, I just need to say SVN info. So when I say SVN info, it will tell me what is the working copy path, trunk, what is the URL which points to this particular folder, what is the current revision number, okay, who is the author. So all those things will be visible when you type SVN info. Remember, it's the same commands on Windows or on Linux. The commands will not change. Okay, so whatever the command we run, whatever output we see, it will be same even on the Linux machine as well. Right. Now what we have done SVN checkout. Now let's go ahead and make some modifications. Okay. Command line demo. Okay, I'm just making one change here. Now, what is the change did I make? Let me say SVN diff here. When I say SVN diff, I will be getting the list of files along with their modifications. Now let me type SVN diff and see. So now you can see in the folder SCM /file2.txt, you will see that here you will see in the line 2 and line 3 there are changes. In line 2 there is one line removed and 2 and 3 are added again. So this plus indicates the line that is added. Similarly, if I have one more file, I will have another index, right? I will have another index block here which says the file name, the line number, and then the line that is removed and the lines that are added. So that is how SVN will show us the diff. File name, line numbers where there is a change, and what is the extra line that is added. Minus and plus indicates there will be extra enter key that is causing this diff. Here you cannot see the enter key. That's why it is showing even the previous line also under diff. This is a problem with Notepad. Okay, but anyways, that's fine. The important thing is that the plus line indicates the line that is added, new line that is getting added. This is SVN diff to see the list of files along with their changes. Now if I want to see what are the various files that got modified, SVN status. Now you can see that one file is modified. Similarly, if I add so I typed something. Now if you see, if I type SVN status, you will see one file in question mark which indicates that SVN has not recognized this file at all. So it cannot track any changes to this file. It cannot maintain its revisions. And one file is modified state. Now if I say, now what shall we do? Whenever we have a new file, the first thing that we do is SVN add. So I will say SVN add file4.txt. Now you can see the file added. It is the SVN status. Here you can see one file is added, another file is modified. Now I need to commit, is it not? I made the changes, I added a file. Now if you want to understand more details of SVN status, SVN help status, it is an important command. See how much of matter it is giving. It is very important for you to see these options. If it is empty, it means there are no modifications. If it is A, added, C, conflicted, D, deleted, M, modified, question mark, not versioned, exclamatory mark. By chance, if you just delete in shift delete without doing SVN delete, it shows the file is missing. See, for instance, if I delete this file, okay, if I do that, my change is lost actually. Anyways, but if I delete this file, shift delete, it will just show me that this file is missing. We have been expecting there a file, but it is not available. So these options are important actually for you in understanding the status of various files: added, conflicted, deleted, modified, replaced, all those things. Okay, now let's understand SVN commit. SVN help. Always we will learn from help and then use it. Commit, as you can see, commit will have a short form CI. Send change from working copy to the repository. Send changes from working copy to the repository. Okay. So from your machine, you will send a change to the repository. And you know that a log message must be provided, but it can be empty. Is it not? Whenever we try to commit from Tortoise, we always had to give there is always a comment box which is available for you. Okay. Right. So you can again use username, password, no auth cache whenever you are running this command. Okay. Now let us run it. So how do you give that log message? You can give with -m. Please note the -m here, which is used for giving that message at the time of commit. Now based on these inputs, based on these things, I will say SVN CI. CI is the short form of commit. CO is short form of checkout. ST is short form of status. SVN CI, SVN commit, followed by what? I should give the message, is it not? Make a commit from command line. Press enter. Here if I want, I can give --, username, blah blah blah, in double quotes, --, password, again something in double quotes, --, no auth cache, in case if I want to make sure, I do not want to cache the credentials. So you can see that a file got added, changes are sent, and you can see revision number incremented by 1. So committed at revision 47. Now if you see SVN ST or SVN status, nothing means there are no local modifications. Everything is in line with the repository. Now if you want to get latest changes, the next day you have come to office, others are also working, but you have only command line with you. The way you get SVN update to get all the changes from others is SVN update. So, or you can use SVN up. Both are fine. Short form is SVN up. So, what we have seen so far is SVN checkout, SVN status, SVN add, SVN diff, SVN commit, SVN update.